YouTube land. This is Brenton Sawin coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. I have been talking to this guy. Well, I've had an email from him for a while and talked to him briefly a few times. But this guy, Fabian, and I'll let him tell his full name. He can introduce himself if he wants to do that. But he has a very interesting story in the line of the UFO alien topic, and he can tell you his progress he made over time himself. But anyway, this is a fascinating story, and I really am fascinated by some of the experiences these experiencers have. But anyway, I'll just introduce him. We're going to go by Fabian, and if he wants to give his full name, that's completely up to him. But how you doing today, Fabian?
I'm doing pretty good, Brenton.
All right.
We'll go by Fabian from Michigan.
All right, Fabian from Michigan. That sounds good to me. And I didn't know you was in Michigan. For some reason, I was thinking you were in California or something like that.
No, it's in Michigan.
You know, sometimes you get a picture in your head. You know, you picture the picture that I seen of you. You look like a California kind of person. You know, I don't, maybe. Hope that's not that's not an insult. That's it's a good thing. You know, but anyway, you have a very fascinating story. You know, when we were talking here a little bit this afternoon, I would like for you maybe to kind of start. And I want to make sure that we certainly get to that story you just told me about when you got dropped off, kind of thing. But if you would kind of take us back to when you were a little kid and you started noticing little things, and maybe even bring up the doctor stuff and things like that, and then we'll get to some of the stories, if you would.
Well, I don't know if I can do it all in one shot here, Brenton.
All right.
You know, if I could, we could divide this up in a few different times. You know, that'd be cool.
Whatever you want to do, man, it'd be great.
Okay. You know, as long as you're recording here.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Yeah, just you know, just things I remember when I was a kid. You know. Waking up with different scars and stuff. My parents, Mom took me to the hospital one time. So I woke up with a scar on the right side of my hip, and she was concerned about. And so she took me to the doctor, and it was a fully healed, like a rectangular scar on the side of my hip, and just didn't know where it came from, you know. And it really bothered me, you know. And she seemed to be concerned enough to take me to the doctor. So I still got it.
Right.
And that's just, you know, when I was like 6 years old, and remembered just different things, you know. And like I said, I really didn't see what it was, you know. It was terrifying.
Right.
You know, and then that was back in the late 60s, you know. We had 2.5 TV channels. Right. We didn't see anything about UFOs, or we didn't, you know, there was nothing like that on TV or nothing.
Right.
You know, so I had no idea about what was going on.
Right.
You know. And when I was like 10 years old, we moved to another house, and of course, you know, you start getting older. You know, my sister was already a teenager and stuff, and she was quite a few years older than me, and she had a Ouija board, you know, and I thought it was a game, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
And well, we messed with it, you know. You know, this is dumb and stuff. Well, after that, things started happening.
Right.
Like knockings, you know, things that would be paranormal, you know.
Yeah.
And my dad would you know, he'd hear something, he'd pop his head up in the attic, look around, and run outside, you know, with a baseball bat in his hand, you know, and nothing. You know, and just weird stuff started happening. That's when the abduction started, you know, to get bad, you know, were just night terrors.
Yeah.
Of course, I couldn't tell my mother, my parents. They thought, yeah, you go back to bed, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they were pretty hardcore. But like I said a few times, you know, they just freaky things happen. Like, but the time I remember the most is when I got taken, had some needle things shoved up into my nose, and I still remember hearing a bone crack in my skull, you know. And like I said, I got MRI. Kind of never gave back to the doctor. Later in life, you know, I got MRIs, and the thing's still there.
Wow, that's incredible.
You know, I'd make a copy and see you.
Yeah. Take a little snapshot, like with your phone or something, and kind of zoom in on it best you can. And that's and do you think that the objects that they put in your nose like that are to like keep track of you or mess with you genetically, or what do you?
I don't know. Well, I'm hoping they don't change my genetics, you know, or trying to.
Right. I hear that, man.
You know, I want to still want, you know,
yeah,
what God gave me, man, you know.
right.
In his image.
Right.
You know, that's why I'm afraid of it. But like I said, you know, that it was not by might. It was I had no choice in the matter. They just take you when they want to, you know.
Right. So this the Ouija board stuff just basically opened up the home to another dimension, didn't it?
It did something, or there was something there already when we moved there, and we, you know, were opened up some kind of portal.
Right.
That never got closed because it followed me for years and years in my life, you know.
Yeah.
And they're claiming to be aliens and all this crap, and you know, and taking me and doing whatever the hell they wanted to, until I figured out that these things are evil.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's can be confusing to people for sure. Why don't you tell from the start there, the encounter you told me about a minute ago, where you start feeling or you see the lights and you hear the buzzing, and then they took you, and then basically when you were running and all that kind of stuff, and where they dropped you and all.
That was gosh, I was probably in my early 20s. Remember, same thing, you know, going to sleep, you know, same every night, and just having this fantastical dream that, you know, I found myself it was like a cave, like, with these, they look like frogs, or, you know how they show those lizard reptilian things? Yeah. It was like that, but they're chasing me, you know? And I'm running, and I got nowhere to run but out the mouth of this cave thing. This is like full color, like a movie, you know, in my head here, or whatever I was in. And I run out to this, where I see sunlight, and I'm out in like a desert area, like you'd see in Arizona or something. And I'm like, they can hear these things coming behind me, you know? And I kind of run, you know, and I see this lady standing by this huge rock, and this lady, she had a white dress on, and she's motioning me to come with her, you know. She grabs my arm, she pulls me, and we walk inside this damn rock. And these things, whatever they were, I can see them through this rock, and they're like trying to break into it to get me. And And it kind of gets weird here, but so I had to leave this to where I was at hiding, you know. And I go, these things are gonna chase me, you know. So, anyways, I take off out of this rock thing. I got nowhere to go, so I run back into this cave.
Right.
Well, I run for a little ways, and then there's this hole in the floor. I tried to stop, couldn't stop. Start sliding down this incline into this, just a black hole.
Wow.
Fell through it. Next thing I know, I'm laying there and just floating. And just peaceful as can be, you know?
Yeah.
And I can see, like I'm floating in space, you know?
Right.
In a bubble. And you know, I got a picture I'll send you that I did in colored pencil, and
Okay.
I'll send it somehow to you. But anyways, I get dropped from there into a pond to my mother's house. And I remember climbing out of the water and, you know, wading up to the shoreline.
Wow.
And thinking, you know, it's just walking up to my miles, and that's all I remembered. That it was a dream, like.
Yeah, but the odd thing is that you really did get dropped off in the pond, because you later on you found your clothes and you really did. They were.
Yeah, it was like, you know, maybe a week or so later, because I did my laundry at my parents'. I'd stay there between girlfriends with houses at the time, you know.
Right.
And I go do my laundry, and in the corner, there's some old boots, my work boots I was looking for. And it's all covered with mud and stuff. And, well, I mean, it was dried up by that time, and I just threw them away.
Yeah.
I'm going, what the hell? I go, did that really happen to me, you know? And just weird shit like that. I got lots of different things where I could tell you.
But I'm also interested in the times that you remember when you would like see a light and then you would feel the vibration. Can you give kind of a sequence of what it's like when you know they're showing up, when they kind of wake you and you know they're coming?
Well, like most time I'm sleeping.
Right.
I'm sleeping already, you know. And then I'll, you know, be awake, you know, and like I said, just I got hold on a second here, Brenton.
Okay.
You know, and then just mostly just like, you know, like vibrations, you know. You can't hear it, you can feel it.
Right, yeah.
In your legs and your arms and stuff, and you know what's gonna happen next, because then everything just starts getting numb, you know. And then when they get to from your feet to up your legs to your body, and then by the time it hits your head, it's like electricity going through you.
Right.
And you can't move, you know.
Right.
And then you're out.
Yeah. You know, I get a lot of people ask me about that part right there, because they'll tell me that they had something weird happen, and they keep talking about that vibrating feeling, like something is, you know, hit them with some kind of vibration weapon or something, and they feel the vibrations. And I've had several different stories about that particular thing, and people asking me about what happened, what was that. You know, one particular lady was in the store with her friend, and they saw something outside the window, and they felt this vibration like thing, and she asked what it was, and the lady was like, "You don't want to know." And I don't know if they were targeting the lady she was with or what have you, but she was asking me about it, you know, and I'd heard that so many times, and you know, it's some type of technology they have that can manipulate you and your consciousness, or you know, put you to sleep and make you not remember and all this stuff.
It's like I watched this video. It was a UFO video. I think it was Jacques Vallée was on there.
Right.
He says the ghosts or demons are, or the mind is like your mind is a machine that a ghost can run or manipulate. You know.
Right.
Or a spirit could manipulate your thinking and stuff like that. You know, but
right.
I'm sure our government's got things that can do the same thing, you know, by now.
Right.
To you, if they wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother story there about, you know, where there's people there too, you know, that with them.
Right.
You know, they're people like you and me that I've seen.
Wow.
You know.
And
but how much time? Because you kind of caught me. I got my girlfriend here, and she's kind of wondering who I'm talking to.
Okay. Well, when you I guess if you're kind of in a pinch for time, I understand that. If you could give a little bit of a description of what you have seen that they look like, or what you explained to me, and
well, because you can't really focus, you know, too much when you're totally in that state,
right,
you know, and when you try and look, you know, just the bright lights, you know, and it's like you're, I don't know, like you're drugged,
right,
you know, where you can't really focus,
right,
and then, you know, you guys, you know, I don't know, I didn't really see it. The only thing I remember seeing is like on the Travis Walton story, that Fire in the Sky movie. That's probably the closest thing I remember seeing.
Yeah, so they basically are tall, gray kind of looking, but they're more humanoid looking than the typical gray picture.
Yeah, I didn't see the dark eye thing, you know.
Right.
Big eyes, but not almond-like eyes, but not.
Right, yeah.
They had pupils and stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But bigger than ours.
Right.
And almond-shaped, you know.
Do you think that that's their natural form, and they're constantly trying to project to you so that you think that you're seeing something else, and every once in a while you get a glimpse?
I think so. I think they're trying to make me believe there's something else, but they're, you know, if they showed their true form, then we'd know what they were.
Right.
And that's what they don't want. So.
Right. And now the implants and things like that. How many of you kind of noticed that you've had?
The only one I ever really noticed is the one in my sinus cavity.
Yeah.
And I haven't really noticed any other one, just besides scarring, you know.
Right.
And triangle scars. Well, the triangle ones kind of went away, but I had some that were gone in a couple days.
Right.
Like on my shoulder, I had it looked like just a row of dots that made a circle. If that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah.
It was like a circle of dots, but the dots were in a line, and it made like a circle. And I didn't notice it. My girlfriend noticed it when we went we're on a little mini vacation, and woke up after in the cabin when I rented, and she looked. She was, "How the hell did you get that on you?"
Where was it at?
But it was on the back of my shoulder, like in my back, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought maybe I slept on something, but you know the beds there were comfortable. I didn't sleep on anything. But then I don't remember going to sleep that night.
Wow.
You know, missing things, you know, here and there.
Right. Do you a lot of times wake up really tired or sore or anything like that when you think?
I've gone where I woke up and felt like I'd never even Just dead tired, you know, where you could sleep for another day or two and just no reason for it.
Right.
No reason whatsoever to be that tired.
Yeah.
Like you ran a marathon and you were up all night, you know?
Right. Like you'd worked all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I woke up when there was leaves in my hair or grass and stuff like that on my pillow and stuff when I wake up. And like, how in the hell did that get there? You know?
Yeah, I think sometimes they'll call you where you walk outside into a field and lay down and they come get you. Because I've heard stories that where someone will remember it and they said that there was a bunch of people walking out to this field, and then a lot of times that they would lay down in different groups, and then he would see the craft come and pick each group up. So that that's odd,
Yeah, I remember being only a few times with other people that that were just as traumatized, but they looked like they were in like zombies, you know.
Right. Did you ever see any military like personnel or anything like that working?
Yes, I did. In fact, I remember one situation. Well, I figured I'm in a dream. This is a dream. This because I had lucid dreams by now, where I could actually, if I wanted to, I could, which I didn't know it was probably not a good thing to do, you know, considering what I know now, you know, in my spiritual life, to be able to leave my physical body, what they call it, astral projection.
Right.
But that was after I had the implant and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, where I was able to do that. At will, even, you know, when I'm sleeping. But then it's scary, you know, and
right.
You know, where you yourself laying there. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
You know, but I think they were doing that to me. Try to separate me from myself, you know. Or it's weird. Like they wanted something else besides, you know, whatever they took from me.
That's interesting.
For my very soul, almost.
Wow. Yeah, like maybe they wanted to trap you or something, or use your body. You know, maybe they want to use your body.
Yeah, because you know, like you know, I watched this thing, you know, on TV about like demonic possession. You know, well, if they're able to possess someone's body, if like they made, if the government went and made these biological entities so their spirits could live in them, that's what they could be, you know.
Yeah.
Because whatever it was, that's what they lacked. They didn't have a soul, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I noticed, you know, even when I was a kid. Right. Whatever this is, whatever they are, they're not like us.
Right.
There's something diametrically opposite of what they were from us.
Right.
You know, which was evil.
Yeah.
You know.
So they work a lot through trying to make a person think that they are in a dream state when I believe when they take you, so that so like when they have you, they're constantly projecting things and trying to control all your visual and audio, and then make you feel like that it was a dream. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're very tired and stuff because you were actually physically gone. Is that kind of your take on it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because especially when you have bruises on you or scrapes or cuts, and when you went to sleep that night, you didn't have that, you know. And there's no way for you to, you know, you know, there's nothing in your bed that's gonna scratch you, or bruise you,
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't wake up with grass or leaves in your hair either. unless you're gonna,
No,
unless you got some trees
no.
in your bed. So,
Just
wow.
weird shit like that would happen, you know.
Yeah.
Too many things that, you know, but, you know, they have people that, well, you know, they do like the hypnotic regression because they want to know.
Right.
Well, I think I know, and I don't want to know.
Right.
You know, I don't want to relive that.
Right. Well,
Because I don't want to have to remember that because what I remember was too terrifying already.
right.
You know?
And they say hypnosis though is not a good thing for you to do in the first place because it opens you back up to yeah.
To other spirits and stuff, and
Right.
the side. No, I'm totally against that.
So you had also you had a paranormal type activity in your house, and you know another person I think Jacques Vallée and that there's another guy that's Dave Hunt I think he talked about the
Yep.
paranormal aspects of people that have UFO abduction experiences have also paranormal type activity around them. Did you ever remember like seeing any shadow entities and things like that around your house?
The thing I've seen is like more like orbs in my room.
Okay.
Before I get knocked out.
Huh.
Usually white, sometimes red.
Huh.
Most of the times they were dark, like a dark red. Like the whole room is glowing in a dark red.
Wow.
Except the spot where the orb was, which was brighter, you know. But it wasn't really making any. There was no light coming. I mean, it was weird.
Yeah.
There was no shadows in the light, you know. You couldn't see any shadows.
Huh. That's
from
interesting.
where the light was coming from.
So, do you think those are kind of like little scout things, or the actual? Do you believe those are actual entities, or maybe like some little scout type device to come see, or what do you think the purpose of those are?
I don't know. I tend to see that I believe there's some kind of entities.
Yeah.
Because the different, some were brighter white and some were like dark red, and that's the only colors I've ever seen, you know.
Right. Huh.
You know, some people say, well, there's a blue light, you know, if they beam, a blue beam, they beam you up. I don't remember seeing anything like that.
Yeah.
Just a white, bright, like an arc light, like an arc weld.
Right.
You can't even really look into it, you know.
Right. So
that bright, you know.
Right. So when you eventually start learning to pray and things like that, right?
Yeah, because I was like, well, you know, I was always, you know, well raised Catholic, and you know, I always believed in God and Jesus, and not knowing much about it, you know, but once I started learning more about what was truth and not the bullcrap that my religion was trying to shove down my throat,
right,
I started to understand it more.
Right.
And when I'd call out and say, hey, help me, you know, and they couldn't, you know, they started to lose their grip on me.
Right.
Where I could be able to kind of move a little bit and not be like totally paralyzed.
Wow.
And it seemed like they scared the crap out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a point where it didn't hardly affect me anymore. You know?
Yeah.
So when the buzzing noises started and the feel like the electricity, and you knew that they were coming.
Right.
And then you know, you start praying like you never prayed before. You know, because you know what's coming.
Wow.
And then it started to where it wouldn't happen anymore, you know.
Yeah.
It would start, and then you could actually wake yourself up and pull yourself out of that trance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then hopefully God that they gave up
So were you
because it
scared?
hasn't happened.
Were you scared to go to bed a lot when you were younger then?
I still sleep with the light on to this very day.
I do too.
You know,
Even though I
I mean,
know I can pray, man, I don't want to be in the dark. I'm telling you, I don't.
well, yeah, because I live by myself. I have a girlfriend. She stays with me once in a while, but you know, I don't like to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm up usually late at night. You know,
Yeah.
and just I don't know, just I'll fall asleep with the damn light on, and I'll, you know, if I wake up at 5 in the morning, I'll shut the light off. You know.
Yeah.
But I just don't like to go to sleep with that damn light off, you know, just because of that.
Right. Yeah. I got you, man. I understand. I never.
It still affects me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of get made fun of a little bit. It's like, oh, Daniel kind of joke with me sometimes. Oh, you scared to go to sleep with the light off? You know. No.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I guess I would live through it if I did, turn it off. But I don't like for it to be totally dark, and I can't help it, man. And if you've had stuff that I've had come after me physically, not even being asleep, and actually grab hold of you and put instruments to the side of your head, or even horned creatures and all kinds.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying.
Yeah, shoot, and that's so scary. You can't even.
You know.
Did you have PTSD from it? I guess you did. If you were.
Well, yeah, because like I said, I anxiety really bad, and once I got to my teenage years, well, I drinking and experimented with drugs and stuff, and drank for most of my life. I quit, thank God.
Right.
But yeah, I think that they're trying to. I don't know. It was like somebody was trying to drive me to ruin.
Right.
Whatever we met when we were kids stuck with me for years.
Yeah.
And tried to make me try to almost ruin my life, man. But thank God.
Right.
I quit the alcohol and chasing wild women, and got to be a grandpa and dad and a grandpa, and
right.
Things started changing, and then they didn't happen as much.
Right.
Until it just, until it finally stopped.
Yeah.
But every now and then I can, you get that feeling.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Where your legs start to buzz and start to feel like they're numb again, and
yeah.
Then you start praying.
Yeah.
And you gotta wake up, I turn on the light, and that's why I leave the light on. So.
Right. Yeah.
But
believe me, I get that, man. I still sleep with a light on. I won't go to sleep without it. And I've noticed that the few times in my life, even in my adult life, when I'm in a house all alone and there's no one in the house, and then I have to go to sleep. I didn't realize that I was kind of a little bit. I had a problem with that. And I know I can pray and I have authority and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, I have had an entity show up, and I was trying to go to sleep, and I opened my eyes, and it was standing right there. I was not asleep. It was a real being standing right there, and I freaked out, and I was in the recliner the last time that happened, and I jumped and it flipped the recliner over, and by the time I got up and was getting ready to start rebuking and stuff, it was gone. But then I was too scared to go to sleep, and I was like, Lord, I was like, why is that thing here now? It's a, but
I get it like that, too, where I'm like, oh no, like not again,
Yeah.
I thought this was done with, but I think it's just for a reminder,
Yeah. Oh, they still try. They try sometimes, and I think it so happened at that time I was studying something that was kind of linked to Hitler and the Vril Society, and I was, you know, and you know, that's such a dark subject, I guess, that you know, one of these creatures for some reason showed up, and I mean, they've never touched me since I've, you know, been, you know, in the Lord kind of thing. But they sometimes show up and try to scare me, and but they don't stick around long, and I think that's what you're saying. You can kind of feel when one of those things are around. There's something odd what they do to the atmosphere and the feeling of time and stuff like that. It's kind of like it's the atmosphere, time, or nothing's the same. It's not normal.
No, I've noticed that, especially when I was younger. Especially being outside, because I worked out on a farm, you know, and I'd work, you know, we'd work picking up rocks out of, you know, just farm work, you know.
Yeah.
And where, you know, I was like, basically, you know, I'd get ahead of everybody in these roads where we had the fruit trees, saplings, we'd have to strip the bottom leaves and stuff off them.
Right.
I get way far ahead so I could, you know, smoke cigarettes and stuff. My mom worked with us and stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed a few times where everything just stopped. Like the birds, you couldn't hear the birds. You couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear any car noises. You couldn't hear the wind blowing. And it was like, and you had that weird feeling like somebody is looking at you, and there's, you know, like almost like when they're going to take you, you know, but it's in the middle of the day.
Wow, yeah.
Bright and sunny day, and then you kind of like got yourself out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had that happen a few times, but the thing I noticed is where everything just got quiet.
Right.
Where you couldn't even hear the birds chirping or anything.
Wow. That's interesting. You know, that's the same thing they describe when Dogman or Bigfoot is around. Isn't that interesting?
It's like a dimensional thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they can affect your mind like that or something.
Yeah. Some people get mad when you say that Bigfoot, you know, it's got some kind of supernatural aspect to it, and because they say it's flesh. I didn't say it wasn't flesh. You know, a supernatural being has a body. Apostle Paul said they have flesh, but the glory is different. So that's why they have some of these abilities to, you know, hit you with infrasound and stuff like that. You know.
Let's say, I think I just read somewhere or I seen a video in the Jewish where they described some kind of demon as like a hairy beast.
Yeah, it's a satyr. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, and I'm thinking, well, what the heck, Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Could be, you know, spiritual being, you know, and, you know, well, they can never catch one, you know.
Yeah.
Or some people say, well, they shot at it and it didn't do nothing to it, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know,
think it's
the word satyr, the word satyr in the Hebrew means hairy, and they live out in the wilderness. Oh yeah, they live out in the wilderness away from people. In Isaiah it says they call to their fellows. You know, they make these calls to each other. You know, it talks about the habitation of dragons and doleful creatures and the screech owl. A lot of people that have encounters with Bigfoot, Dogman, or UFOs, they have these encounters with owls. I've even heard of an owl coming down after a Bigfoot encounter, and an owl come down and like trying to scratch at someone's face, and then it takes off and like disappears, you know. And you know, the screech owl, and those eyes that the owls have, they're similar to the grays, and yeah. I've often wondered about Esau too. Esau was so hairy.
Really brought back a lot of things I didn't remember was the movie The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
Where they had owls in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mila Jovovich, they made it a few years back.
Right.
About a true story about some people who were doing a sleep study in Alaska.
Yeah.
The Fourth Kind. Have you seen that movie?
No. So the owls triggered memories.
Watch it. Yes, these people are being traumatized, and they're seeing things that are like owls and stuff. And it's a really weird movie. I mean, watch it a chance. The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, I will. I'll look it up.
And it's got with supernatural and demonic things that are happening to this lady.
Right.
It freaked me out. It was one movie that really scared me.
Yeah.
Because it kind of brought back some things that I remember.
Yeah.
Because this lady, she woke up with a triangle mark on her back.
Wow.
And I woke up with one on my face. And that was kind of freaky.
See, the people that make those movies, they know. They've heard this stuff. They even encountered this kind of thing. Why would they put a mark they know that people that have these encounters get? You know what I'm saying? But they also are relating it to the demonic, and that's interesting, isn't it?
Like they say, there's truth in the fiction, and there's fiction in their truth.
Yeah.
They put little signs in their movie to tell us something, see if we get it.
Yeah. So do you remember seeing owls when you were going through all that?
Not really. No, but the way they portrayed them on that movie, it's kind of the heebie-jeebies when they mentioned owls. Because that's one of the foul creatures in Revelation, right? Where it says it'll be an imitation of owls and foul creatures, and I forgot what Revelation is.
I know that there's one in owls. Yeah, there's one in Isaiah, I think it's 34, that talks about that and the doleful creatures and all that. And very, very interesting. But in a way, if you look at that verse, it almost covers all of the cryptid type things that people, I mean, a lot of them anyway, that people see. Even the dragons or the reptilian type creatures, the owls, usually associated with the gray type things people see, and then the hairy, the satyr thing, and those beasts of the field, there's different kinds out there, and they're real, it's amazing doing the show. People are really seeing these things. There are really things in our forest that live in the forest. The Bible says they do live out there. Some of those kinds. Now the type that you're encountering, sometimes even the dog man is seen with a little gray looking thing on its shoulder, like what Scott Carpenter has got an image of one, and he said that he's been told by like some Native American type people, I think is what he said. He was told by someone that the Bigfoots have little like gray looking little creatures that sometimes will be following and running around them, picking up their feces and things like that to try to cover their tracks. I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought, man, that's pretty wild. That's pretty interesting, But but you've had some wild, crazy encounters. That getting dropped off in the pond thing, man, that is crazy. And it seems like that that lady, calling you into that rock, and then they're beating on the rock trying to get into it. It seems like to me that you were maybe in this craft, and that was a lure to try to get you into that particular room, because a lot of times these crafts have hallways and rooms, but it's all holographic type, or something or another, and they just
they could make holographic images to see what kind of reaction you get,
Yeah. They dropped Whitley Strieber off in the woods, before. And so when you said they dropped you in the pond, man, it's like, darn, that's Not even very
Yeah, but
courteous.
I was probably still in a state of, where, I didn't remember, or
Yeah. I've had encounters that I didn't remember what happened right after, or my first encounter that I had. It's kind of common. You still there? It sounds like we might have lost him there. So we'll just call it the end of this interview at this time, and I'll talk to him and see what else he wants to share, and we'll have him back if he feels like he wants to do that. But anyway, that's pretty interesting stuff, man. Goodness, that's it's some strange, high strangeness kind of activity, and I thought maybe you all would find that interesting, and the more you gather on these type of stories, the more, in my opinion, you kind of can put the puzzle together on how they do it, what they do, and the things to look for, and then most of all, how to stop it. Because after he became, a Christian and started uh, practicing his faith and the Lord and stuff like that, he was able to stop the activity, and that was, the best thing that could have happened for him, because it sounded like he was living in some pretty bad fear. And it's hard to get past the fear totally. I mean, you can say you're past it and all that, and most of the time, people like him or me, we're not scared. I'm not scared to go to sleep, but I prefer to have light on. A little light. I have like a little night light type thing that gives me a little bit of light in the room where if I wake up, I can see where I'm at, kind of thing. And that kind of anyway, that's the deal. And anyway, thank you all for watching. If anybody wants to help and me with this channel, especially after the first of the year, the seasonal ads and stuff like that are gone, and the income and stuff drops way down, really far down. It's kind of depressing in a way. You can go to Facebook Mysteries of Search, and I have a donate button there. You can help me, and then also BrentonSawin@gmail.com is the way to get to my PayPal. It's also my email address. And if you got a good story, you got something very interesting, Bigfoot, dog man, UFO alien type stuff, or shadow beings, or whatever, pterodactyls. I got a pterodactyl interview coming later tonight, and I'm really excited about this one. It is a very phenomenal story. You're going to be liking that, and God willing, I'll get that interview and be able to get that out to you. So anyway, thank you all very much. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.